Welcome to AI ConvoCast, where we bring you the latest in AI and tech innovation. Quick housekeeping. Check out the affiliate links in our description. Using them supports the show, and please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Let's jump right in. Today, we will be covering OpenAI rolling out ads in ChatGPT, OpenAI executives warning about a capability overhang at Davos, and Anthropic introducing MCP Tool Search for Claude Code. Let's get into it. OpenAI has officially started testing advertisements inside ChatGPT, marking a significant new chapter in how the company plans to sustain its consumer AI products. The ads began appearing for some users around January 12th and are limited to the free tier experience. If you are a paying subscriber on Plus, Pro, or Enterprise plans, you will not see any ads. This distinction is important because it shows OpenAI is trying to balance revenue generation with preserving the premium experience for those who pay. The advertisements themselves are contextual, meaning they relate to what you are discussing or searching for, but they are not being injected directly into the conversational flow. So you will not suddenly have Claude recommending a brand of coffee mid-sentence. Instead, the ads appear in designated spaces within the interface. This approach makes sense given the rising costs of running inference at scale. Every query you send to ChatGPT requires computational resources, and those costs add up quickly when you have hundreds of millions of users. The move immediately caught the attention of competitors. Google wasted no time responding. Dan Taylor, who serves as Vice President of Global Ads at Google, publicly stated that ads are not aligned with how Gemini is meant to be used. He clarified that Google has no plans to introduce ads to Gemini for now. That qualifier is worth noting because it leaves the door open for future changes. But for the moment, Google is positioning Gemini as the ad-free alternative in the consumer AI space. Now shifting to a broader industry perspective from OpenAI leadership. At the World Economic Forum in Davos, OpenAI executives delivered a warning they are calling the capability overhang. The core message is that AI capabilities are advancing significantly faster than people and organizations are actually adopting and using them. According to OpenAI, ChatGPT's ability to handle complex tasks is roughly doubling every 7 months. That is an extraordinary pace of improvement. But the problem is that most users, whether individuals, businesses, or governments, are not keeping up. OpenAI leadership described this gap as users leaving enormous value on the table. Think about it this way. If you have a tool that can automate significant portions of your workflow or help you analyze data in seconds, but you only use it to draft occasional emails, you are barely scratching the surface of what is possible. Multiply that across millions of users and entire organizations, and you start to see the scale of underutilization they are concerned about. The framing here is interesting because OpenAI is essentially saying the bottleneck is no longer the technology itself. The bottleneck is adoption, usability, and helping people understand what these tools can actually do for them. This suggests that in 2026, OpenAI will be putting significant effort into user experience improvements, education, and making their products more accessible to people who may not be deeply technical. It is a shift from pure capability research toward deployment and enablement. From an economic standpoint, OpenAI views this gap as a risk. If productivity gains are sitting untapped because people do not know how to use the tools available to them, that represents missed potential for businesses, governments, and individuals. The message from Davos was clear. The technology is ready. Now the work is getting it into people's hands in ways they can actually use. Moving to developer-focused news, Anthropic has rolled out a new feature called MCP Tool Search for Claude Code. This update directly addresses a challenge that developers face when building complex agent systems. When you are working with a large number of tools in an agentic setup, you typically have to preload all of those tools into the context window. The context window is essentially the memory space that the model uses to understand your request and generate a response. Loading too many tools eats up that valuable space and can slow things down or limit what the model can handle in a single interaction. MCP Tool Search changes this by dynamically loading tools only when they are needed instead of keeping everything preloaded at all times. The feature automatically activates when the number of tools exceeds roughly 10% of the available context. It uses lightweight search indices to quickly find and load the right tool for the job. Tariq Shihipar from Anthropic's technical staff described the update as making large MCP setups actually usable. This is a meaningful improvement for power users and developers building sophisticated agent workflows. If you are constructing an agent that needs access to dozens of different tools or APIs, you no longer have to worry as much about running out of context space or dealing with performance degradation. The system handles tool management more intelligently behind the scenes. This update also builds on Anthropic's earlier release of Claude Code, continuing their focus on making Claude a more capable development partner for technical users. Thank you for listening to AI Convo Cast. Please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Thanks and hope to see you again next time.